Will, thanks for joining us. A big treat to have you in between games. No midweek game this week, so we've got a tiny bit of extra time. So thanks for joining us. And maybe if this goes down well and works well, we'll maybe do something like this with a different player next month. You can maybe nominate who comes next or whatever. But let's go back to the beginning for you and Darlington this season. Second spell, big fans' favourite from the last time, but you've obviously made the decision to come back early on in this season. What was it about Darlington? What went through your mind when you decided to come back from Fylde to Darlington in particular?
In terms of Darlington, the reason to come back was just because how much I enjoyed it last time. As people probably guess, it was probably my best time as a footballer in terms of my performances and enjoying football itself. So it was a really easy decision. I knew if I was going to ever leave Fylde, it was the only one club I wanted to come back to was Darlington. There was, of course, there was a lot of interest. I could have had a few loans here and there who, were tempting. But to be honest with you, the only club I wanted to come back was Darlington. And when I knew there was interest there, then I wanted to make it happen. So, yeah, delighted in terms of being back here, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, brilliant. It's great to have you back. 2023, so you come back sort of half a dozen games into the season, whatever it was, a few games into the season, and you've come back in a 2023, which if you look at it from the start of January, I think I was looking at it earlier, I think we've won 8, drawn 15, lost 19 or something like that. So 2023 has not been a great year results-wise on the pitch. So since you've come back, I'm sort of interested in how you feel where we are today on the pitch and what sort of signs of improvement and signs of progress that you're seeing or you think we should look for.
Yeah, of course. And obviously, we're in a difficult situation at the moment, of course. Everyone knows that. There has been a lot of transition within the club from top to bottom in terms of the management team. It is a tricky situation that we find ourselves in, but we've in terms of myself personally, I do believe that we've got the structure, we've got the players, we've got the management to get out of where we're at the moment, for sure. Of course, it's not like a nice situation to be in. We want to be winning games. We want to be pushing at the top end of the table rather than the bottom. But there's still plenty of games left. We're not even halfway through the season yet. So there's lots of points to be played for. But of course, we need to start turning these results, these positive, let's say, performances recently into wins. But of course, obviously coming back to the club, I knew there was obviously we're in a bit of a tough period in terms of results wise, as you mentioned, from the start of the year to now. We have been struggling for quite a while now, so there is something that we need to change. I think everybody probably knows that, and like I said, the new management teams come in, they've got new ideas, fresh ideas, and hopefully, like I said, we can kick on as soon as possible.
Yeah, how's the changing room feeling about that then? Because I mean, even if you look at the last handful of games, there's been the one real bad night at Chorley there, but in that last run of games, I mean, the last couple of home games, you look at the stats, you look at XG, and you look at the shots and everything like that, and normally you'd expect that we'd have won one or maybe both of those games. So how's the changing room managing to keep spirits high and keep positive? Because it must be tough when you're down at the end of the table that you don't want to be at.
Yeah, it is tough, certainly. And after games when you feel, especially the last two, when you definitely feel we should have won, it's downbeat, especially after games. It's very frustrating. A lot of tension in the air as well. A lot of frustration, a lot of anger, for sure. All the typical phrases that we use after a game, after not picking up 3 points, they're there. We're frustrated. But in terms of the spirit, the lads are different class. We're so close as a team. We all want the same. We're all heading in the right direction, let's say. We all want the same end goal. And I think the good thing about the gaffer, I've got to give you credit to that. Since he's come in, he's been so positive around the place with the lads, keeping spirits really high. And I think that's massive credit to him because it does show. Of course, obviously, the fans don't really see what's going on inside the change room and what we're like as individuals, but honestly, we're a close knit group, and we all want the best for the club. And we're doing our utmost to try and get out of it. Of course we are. In terms of the spirit, it's surprisingly quite good to say where we're at. But of course, after games, especially if we don't get the result we want, or if we don't perform how we want, there's definitely a lot of anger and frustration, and maybe a few things get said as well. What probably we step out of line saying, but end of the day, it needs to be said because we do need to get out of this situation. But yeah, like I said yesterday, we were at training, had a really good session, and yeah, we're looking forward to moving forward now, and looking forward to Saturday.
Yeah, so touching on that a little bit then, Will. So since Josh has come in, a number of different staff changed on the one hand, and what's sort of different in terms of on the training pitch? And I know, for example, Alex has come in as the analyst. I stand sometimes next to him on the balcony if we're on the balcony doing a commentary and watch the wizardry that he's doing there behind it. How does that all come together, and what sort of difference has that made in terms of preparation for games, looking at opposition, looking at our own strengths and weaknesses? How's that look?
Yeah, it's in terms of Alex's position, it's obviously very different to what we've had in the past. We do get a lot more detail in terms of the opposition, and yeah, it's good. It gives us a bit of a picture, a bit of an understanding of the opposition we're going to be playing, what kind of style they play, what their strengths, what their weaknesses, and basically before pretty much every game, basically we always have a few videos sent in the chat regarding how we're going to play, regarding how we can stop their strengths, how we can attack their weaknesses. So yeah, it's really good in terms of what Alex has brought to us as a group. For sure, it's only going to benefit us. And yeah, and in terms of the management team, we do work a lot. They've always got identity in terms of how they want to play against different teams. So every week's different. Every training session is adapting to the opposition. So yeah, as a team and as a player, we know what our jobs are. If we stick to them, then more or less we would get a positive result. But unfortunately, there has been individual errors. What's probably cost us recently, and yeah, if we can take these individual mistakes away and try and perform instead of not just for 45 minutes or 70, 80 minutes, we need to perform for a full 90 minutes because, as you said, teams aren't just going to give us points. Every team's fighting for the same thing. And like I said, we've got to be bang on it all the time. And I think that's, credit to Alex and the management team for giving us that plan to go and put out on a Saturday or a Tuesday night. So yeah, that's what he does. We get a lot of information, so it's good.
Yeah, good. And then it's obviously doing the fans radio a lot. We've got fans from all over the world listening to the games. We've got the fans in the ground. We've got the social media stuff. And when you're down at the bottom, there's a lot of critique and criticism and analysis comes, I think, especially in social media these days. So my question for you is like, how do you manage that as a playing squad? How connected are you to that? Does it affect you? Does it not affect you? Because obviously when we win, it's all amazing and it's all great. But when you're on a run where we're not winning, I imagine it's probably a bit challenging sometimes.
Yeah, of course it is challenging, but for me personally, it doesn't affect me at all. Of course, you see things. Well, if you want to see things, you can keep off social media if you want. It's not something that you have to go on and read, but of course, it's you see it, you hear it. But it's football. End of the day, we're not performing. We're not where we need to be as a club of the standards of this club. We've got a passionate fan base, and yeah, they've got the right to their opinion. And personally, I don't think it personally doesn't affect me, and I think as a group, it doesn't really affect us. We read it and try and use it as a bit of motivation. Because we know for a fact, and we've seen it, and the players have seen it. When we're doing well, the praise we get is unbelievable. And I'd rather be at a club who's got the fan base to actually share their feelings, positive or negative. Because, like you said, without the fans, this probably club wouldn't be existing. So I want to be part of a team who've got a good fan base, big fan base, and that's what we've got. That's one of the main reasons I came back to Darlington, because of the fan base. So yeah, the right to the opinion, and I understand it's not nice to see, obviously, from the outside, but like I said, when we're doing well, they do give us the praise, they do give us the credit that we deserve. So you've got to take it on the chin, and you've got to use it as motivation to say, right, come on, we've got to show these people what we're all about. So and to be honest with you, a lot of the players probably don't even see it themselves. So they just keep their head down and don't look into it. So, but yeah, it's a good point, because like I said, it's what we are. We're footballers. We're targeted if we're not performing. So at the end of the day, we need to start turning this season around and start getting positive results. And hopefully we get a bit of more positive responses on social media for sure.
Yeah, no, great. I'm just thinking about your role as well. So last half dozen games or so, it looks to me like it's kind of like a 4-2-3-1 type of shape in those games, which has allowed you to get maybe, I don't know, you tell me, I'm not the expert here, but it seems like you've been able to get a bit further up the pitch and a bit more around the box. And I wonder, does that suit you? How do you feel about that? Do you enjoy that opportunity to be in a little bit more of an advanced area?
Yeah, for sure. I'd definitely say I'd like to be more advanced than not in terms of more. Yeah, I'd like to be more attacking than defensive, let's say. But obviously, yeah, you know what I'm about. I can, in terms of that midfield, box to box, I like to do whatever it takes. But yeah, certainly in the new formation, I've been playing a bit more off to the right or a bit more to the left, and I've not minded at all. People might not think I'm an out-and-out winger. Well, I'm not, of course, but you do get a bit more freedom on that out wide. You can come into the pockets, you can come inside, you can have a bit of a free reign, let's say. I've obviously played in the number 10 position off the striker as well. What's good. I do enjoy that position. But of course, drifting out wide as well is something that I like to do. So, yes, obviously I've come back. I've scored a few goals, but to be honest with you, they've all been set pieces. So I need to start probably scoring a few more goals and getting into some better areas around the box. Keep getting my shots off, and hopefully, with me scoring more goals, hopefully that will bring more positive results as well.
Yeah, and then I suppose finally, just sort of thinking about it as we are here, we're coming into a run of games again now that we've got Southport on Saturday, but then I think it's Banbury and Gloucester and then Bishop Stortford at home. So like Southport top half, but the other three are teams in and around the mix, really. I mean, as a fan, you sort of look at that and think, like, this looks like a really important, particularly important stretch of games. Is that the message in the dressing room, or is it very much just one game at a time, or how do you sort of patch those up?
Yeah, it's obviously one game at a time. Of course, it is. We're only focusing on the next game, and that's Southport away. But yes, you do look in terms of the next few fixtures, especially the lead up to Christmas as well. It's a huge month for the football club. We understand that as players. We understand we need to turn this around as soon as possible. So yes, teams are like in and around us as well. So we've got to try and turn these performances into 3 points, because that's what we're craving and that's what we want. I certainly want that as well. So yeah, it's a big period, especially leading up to Christmas, because there'll be a lot of games around the Christmas period as well. And when you come out of that Christmas period, you'll probably get a good understanding of what the challenges faces for the rest of the season. So if we can get ourselves out of this, let's say, relegation battle, what we're in at the moment, heading into like the January, February time, and we're out of it, then hopefully we can start looking upwards rather than worrying about this relegation battle that we're in.
Yeah, brilliant. And some players coming back to help as well, hopefully. I mean, Andrew Nelson's back shortly. I think he's got one game left of his ban, hasn't he? We've got a Quasi getting fitter each week as well. So hopefully there's so many games in and around that period, isn't there? That hopefully we get someone near full strength as well, which I'm sure will be a big help.
Yeah, definitely. The two players that you just mentioned, obviously, they're gonna be big for us, for sure. Of course, you've got Lidl coming back as well soon into the mix. So yes, we have probably been a bit light on numbers in recent weeks due to suspensions and injuries. But like you just said, then hopefully then players are going to come back into the mix, a bit more competition throughout the team, bring that strength to the team as well. So yeah, really looking forward to that and getting these boys back, and especially Asante as well. Obviously, a big signing for us. So yeah, Rich, he should be big for us once we get him fit and running.
Brilliant. Thank you, Will. Thanks so much for spending a bit of time with us. Really enjoy it. Really enjoyed chatting to you. I'm sure everyone will be interested in what you've got to say. So thanks. Really appreciate it. And then just a cheeky one. I never said I'd ask you, I suppose. But if we were going to do something like this once a month, who do you think we should ask next? Who out of the dressing room do you think would be up for having 10, 15-minute chat with us next month?
Oh, let me think. I think a good one would be Ben Headley. I think he'd be good.
Yeah, Ben, right.
Yeah, okay. I don't really hear him speak much. I think he'd be good on the interviews.
I don't know whether you want to message him and tell him he's coming next then, or whether he wants to wait and see if he listens. Maybe he'll get bored before he watches this one back.
Yeah, he probably will be. Probably listening to me, but yeah, Headley will be a good one.
Right, he's got the gig.
Yeah, I think he'll be a good target.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for joining us. All the best on Saturday. All the best with this run of games coming to Christmas, and we'll see you back down next time around as well. Appreciate it.
Brilliant. Top man. Thank you.